Hello YouTube, this is Super Venom TCG bringing you a deck profile update to my Spellcaster deck. I am profiling this deck because the last deck profile I did, it didn't turn out really good, and hopefully this update will somehow bring back some good views and subscribers. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and enjoy. First up I'm running is Dark Magician. He is the main monster of the deck. Next is Neo Aquamador. He is my defensive spellcaster. Next is Thousand Eyes Idol. And I'm running 2 copies of Gemini Elf. She is my 1900 beater. That's all for vanillas. Next is effect cards. Next up is effects, and I'm running 1 Sorcerer of Dark Magic. What he does is, when your opponent activates a trap, the effect of the trap card is negated and he destroys it. Next up is the Tricky. What he does is you discard 1 card from your hand and special summon him on your side of the field. Next up, Dark Magician Girl. What she does is she gains 300 attack for each Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in the graveyard. Next, Buster Blader. What he does is when there's dragon type monsters in your opponent's graveyard or side of the field, he gains 500 attack. Next is Mahavela. What she does is when you equip spell card to her, she gains 500 extra attack. Next up is Kaiku's the Ghost Destroyer. What he does is when he deals direct damage to your opponent, you can banish up to 2 cards from the graveyard. Next is Magician of Fate. What she does is when she's flipped, you get to return 1 spell card from your graveyard to your hand. Next is Summoner Monk. What he does is you discard 1 card and he goes in defense position and special summons a level 4 or lower spellcaster type monster. Next is Magical Exemplar. What she does is when you activate a spell card, she gains 2 spell counters for that activation of a spell card, and remove spell counters to special summon any level of spellcaster type monster from your hand. Next up is Triple Skilled Dark Magician. What he does is when you activate a spell card, he gains a spell counter for each card activated. Remove 3, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Next is Breaker, the Magical Warrior. What he does is when he's summoned to the field, he gains a spell counter. Remove that spell counter to destroy any card on the field. Legendary Flame Lord. Let me read him real quick for you. Yeah, when you activate a spell card, he gains a spell counter for each spell card activated. Remove 1 spell counter to destroy all cards on the field except for him. Next is Relinquished. What he does is take your opponent's monster off to their side of the field and equip it to him. He gains attack and defense for that equipped card. That equipped monster. For that equipped monster. Next up, I don't have the playable versions of these cards, but they're in my deck anyway. And they're the 3 Egyptian god cards. Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. I honestly don't know their effects right offhand, but yeah. Now for spell cards. Running 1 Mage Power. What it does is it gains, you equip it to a monster, it gains 500 attack for each spell card, trap card on the field. Next is Inconsistent Ordeal. That's the ritual card. This ritual summon Legendary Flame Lord. Next up is 2 copies of Dark Magician's Attack. Dark Magic Attack. Activate that card when there's a Dark Magician on your side of the field. It destroys all spell and trap cards on the field. On your opponent's side. Next is Black Illusion Ritual. What it does, it's the ritual spell card for Relinquish. Next is Sword of Dark Destruction. What it does is you equip it to a Spellcaster type monster. It gains 400 attack and decreases it by defense by 200. Next is Yami, for the field spell for spellcasters. Next is Sword of Revealing Light. Activate that card, and your opponent can attack for 3 turns. Next is Emblem of Dragon Destroyer. What it does, it searches out Buster Blader from your deck and graveyard and add it to your hand. Next is Polymerization. Sorry about that. Next, for traps, I'm running Spellbinding Circle. Dark Renewal. What it does is when you normal summon or special summon a monster, target one of those monsters and 1 spellcaster type monster you control. Send both monsters to the graveyard, then you can special summon 1 dark spellcaster type monster from your deck or graveyard. So that is Dark Magician support. Next is Drop Off. You activate that card when your opponent draws and sends that card to the graveyard. For stable, Trap Hole, Babaku, Dragon Capture Jar, and my other new card, Black Illusion. It says until the end of this turn, all dark spellcaster type monsters with 2,000 points or more you currently control cannot be destroyed by battle. Their effects are negated. Also, they are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So that's pretty much another Dark Magician support card. It's all for spells and traps. That's main deck. Now extra deck. I'm running 1 Dark Paladin, What he does is when there's dragon-type monsters in your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard, he gains 500 extra more points to his attack. And you can discard one spell card to activation to negate an activation of a spell card and destroy it. Next is Thousand Eyes Restrict. What he does is the same thing as Relinquished. You equip a monster to him, he gains that attack and defense for that card, to his attack and defense. Well, there you have it, YouTube. There is my Spellcaster deck profile update. Hope you enjoyed this deck profile. This is Super Venom TCG signing off. Thanks for watching. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.